Hey, how's everybody doing, man? I'm too tired to work on side projects right now, so I'll tell you about what I'm working on, and we'll get to it pretty soon. I Thursday's the day that I'm usually beat, man. Thursday's the day of the week where I'm like, oh, is the week here yet? Like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, none of that bothers me. Friday doesn't bother me, but there's something about Thursday that drains me beyond belief. I think it's because you're so close yet so far, sort of thing. Anyhow, so we're doing our weekend AMA a little bit earlier because, to be honest with you, I'm a little too tired to work on my side project right now. So I said, hey, let's do the weekend AMA early. So what am I been working on? Pretty cool stuff, actually. So, for those of you who know about my 100 algorithm challenge course, uh, which is doing great, a lot of you guys like it. I said to myself, how can I follow up with the 100 algorithm challenge? And sometimes what you need for a good movie is a great prequel. All right. So the 100 algorithm challenge, for those who don't know, is 100 algorithms where you are challenged to do them and work through them and see what's what. And the idea here is to get you prepped for those whiteboard interviews and get you comfortable with JavaScript, a little bit of TypeScript. Just make sure that you're working and that you understand what's going on. That's the goal. Now, say, okay, that sounds pretty good. So how are you going to hit that with a prequel? So what I've been working on is I don't have a name for it yet. I think it's going to be the 100 front end interview question challenge. It's a little bit long, but it gets the point across where we are going over 100 of the most common interview questions. So you get a phone screen or a technical screen, and given answers and examples, so that you learn these key concepts that revolve around HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and just really front end questions in general. So doing pretty good. So in total, the course has around 140 videos, and we filmed in the last 2-3 weeks about 50 of them. And I've been working on it every single day. I'm very excited about it. But that's what I've been working on. I always got a little something in the back pocket, and that's been the that's been the fun little thing. I'm excited about it because it's getting to a point where, like, in a month I think it'll be out. That's what's exciting about it for me. Is like, oh, great, man, we can finally get to a point where it's going to be out pretty soon. Go ahead, Achilles. Uh, really actualize it. You guys want to see something pretty cool? April did this in my office the other day. I don't think you've ever seen it. Put up some of my. Can you guys see that? Put up some of my certs. You can see we got a hackathon cert that I won. Responsive web design for free code camp. Another free code camp. Some awards from college, and some of you guys don't know, but I am a certified, or I was. I don't think it goes away because it's a sort of unofficial thing. Certified poker dealer. A little fun fact about me that I don't think you guys knew. When I was 20, I got certified to be a poker dealer. Couldn't get a job though. Do I get angry when teammates don't pull their weight? What steps do you take? So, angry is probably not the right word. As a professional, you don't get angry. You get frustrated. That's how I would describe it. And yes, of course, we're all human, right? And we're all team members. So at the end of the day, you have to decide what sort of employee are you going to be. I'd be the first one to tell you I don't work overtime. So a lot of times people think pulling your weight, you're working overtime, the other person's not. So I don't work overtime. One, because I already work outside of work on side projects in my life and building up passive income streams and stuff like that. I don't have the energy or the time. Two, I don't think I should have to if I put in a good 40 hours a week. So What do you do when your teammates aren't pulling their weight? Well, first off, that could mean a lot of things. But typically, what I try to do is I upskill them. I try to get resources to make them better, for them to learn, to continue to grow. And I'm very sometimes forceful with it and very vocal about it. And so you can try it yourself, and that doesn't work. You can do it in PRs, that doesn't work. You can talk to their boss, that doesn't work. You can ask to change teams if you really want to. So, is it possible to have a CRUD app that is too simple to get a job? No, man. I mean, a basic CRUD app has 4 API calls, and that's really what a CRUD app is. So if you're doing that, not that big of a deal. What library is best to visualize data? I mean, it depends. I mean, there's a lot of data visualization libraries for your frameworks. D3 is, I'm not a fan of D3. You just picked up the JavaScript 360 and 100 algorithm challenge on Udemy. Thank you, Charlene. Good luck with that. Can I explain to you what a RESTful API is? Well, a RESTful API is a way that a structure to your API. There are a lot of things that make a RESTful API RESTful. And Drew Staples, thank you for the comments, man. I appreciate the support. So it's so funny today. One of my teammates asked me, hey, do you have any good JavaScript standards or like best coding practices you'd recommend? And so like, so I sent her a video, like a 2-hour course that I gave free code camp with me in it. And she goes, oh my God, you have a YouTube channel? You're like internet famous. It's always funny to me. It's like, we can really learn a lot from you or something like that. And I was just like, it's sort of awkward right now. Like I'm sure, I'm sure I could help you, but it's so funny that all of a sudden, because I put videos on the internet, I have more validity. You know what I mean? Like, what about crunch time? The boss wants you to work overtime. So I've done that, and I don't do it anymore because I've learned from my mistakes. And the honest God answer is I just don't have it in me. I put in good work, and I work hard, and I'm constantly learning, and I try to be the best employee I can be, but that doesn't mean overtime. That's the truth of the matter. And crunch time is oftentimes because of bad business management and not because of devs. What N64 games were your jam back in the day? I mean, you got Mario. Mario 64 is off the chain. GoldenEye, of course. Quest 64 was like the only RPG type game that was on there. You got Ocarina of Time was pretty fun. I had a bunch, man, but those are like the ones that come into my Star Fox, of course. Do I still retro game? Yeah, man. In my living room, I have the Super Nintendo Classic, the PlayStation Classic, and the Nintendo Classic. Um, I don't really have time to play games all that much right now. I'm very money motivated right now, and I've been like that before for like about 31 years. But yeah, man, you start a new job and you're working on things, and I'm a little behind in this year's goals. Um, What's the big new course you're working on that you don't expect done until the end of the year? So I've put that course on hold to finish this initial one because I think I really liked it and I thought I could get it done in about 2 months, and I'm on track to. How do you transition from functional QA to dev? Well, first you make sure you have the tools and the skills and the requirements to do so, and then you apply in-house, simultaneously applying out-house to roles. So. It's a secret course. No, the course is 100 technical front end questions, like phone screen type questions. Like, I'll give you a basic example. Can you briefly explain const versus let versus var and how they differ, and really diving deep into some of these questions as well as giving examples for the majority of them. Diving into things like CSS, for instance, very basic thing. What are CSS custom properties? The box model, how display position inline differs from inline block, stuff like that. you are a 501 dev. I think that's great, but entry levels can't be a 501 dev. For the most part, I think you're wrong. I mean, it's sort of in your mentality there. Um, but again, that so people can do that at any stage of the career. I've never really been one of those devs that worked a lot of overtime because I was learning outside. And I was putting in a good amount of time and grinding and growing. Um, so that's the one I'm doing now. Right now is the technical like phone screen questions, technical questions, interview questions. I think it's going to call the 100 front end interview question challenge. So, what is a 501 dev? Essentially, what she's implying is that when it's 501, you're out of there. I haven't heard that term before, but I believe that's what she's saying. Am I really strong with algorithms? I'm not strong with like traditional algorithms. You know, you want me to solve something in binary search or breadth first search? I gotta go look that up. Um, the um, the main thing is that you should be able to solve basic problems, and that's what you're going to get out of the course. So you're going to be able to solve intermediate problems on whiteboarding. Hey, we need you to, here's an array, I want you to merge it with this other array, and then I want you to sort it alphabetically, something like that. Do you need a good math background to learn algorithms? For the most part, you need to be probably pretty solid in algebra. That's like where I would say your math skills should be. Hey Dylan, thanks for making the video and vice versa. One question: I'm finding myself having to learn front end, just learn back end. I want to focus on back end, but can't find many resources. All you have to do to understand back end is that back end is there to connect to databases and manipulate data and return JSON. So you just have to build APIs and microservices. So just look up tutorials to build microservices and APIs, and you'll find back end materials. So that would be what I would do. And in the, like say you want to build in C#.net, so type in microservice C#.net tutorial, and then go from there. And go research things like REST. Learn REST. Learn basic MVC for C#.net. Have I done much freelance as a front end dev? The majority of my freelancing isn't like freelancing like you would think, but I did do it before I was really working as a developer. But the majority of my freelancing is like content work, sponsored videos, building courses for other sites, stuff like that nowadays. How long should you work at a full-time job before going remote? What roadmap should I follow? Thank you. So my advice is you always work at a company until you feel like there's nowhere left for you to move up to or nowhere left for you to grow. And because once you start going remote, you're going to start losing out on some of those opportunities. So once you're senior level, I would say you can start considering remote. That's usually what I would recommend. Yeah, good luck, Ethan. Takes a while to get the nerd eye happening to properly visualize what's happening on each stage. I've never heard it referred to as the nerd eye. How did you handle salary negotiation for your second dev job after 1 year experience? How do you know how much more money to ask for? I was just talking about this today, actually. So I was telling, it doesn't matter, but I had a meeting. I mentioned that I took a job. So I went from 67 to 75,000 for my first dev job of 1 year to my second dev job. Now I had a offer for 90,000 to go to a company that I felt would make me a worse developer, and that the developers look miserable. So I took a $8,000 raise versus a $23,000 raise right then and there. The reason for it is I thought long term is the better decision. I was going to make more money. Now, and it worked out, so I'm glad. I'm one of the best. Hands down, one of the best decisions I've made in my life. Taking $15,000 less, which was 15,000 going from 15,000 of 75, or when you're, hands down one of the best decisions. So, how did I negotiate? I just asked for more money. I said, look, I'm better. I did more money. I'm worth more money. That's where I'm at. I also just told people I made more money. And basically, I interviewed enough to see where I was at. But yeah, I mean, you can see based off your area and stuff like that where people are at. You'll get an idea. So here's the thing: is like eventually you'll get to a point where you're above market rate, and then you just are asking for more money than 9 out of 10 companies can pay you. So, what path do I need to go to be a JavaScript developer? Well, I mean, JavaScript, if you're talking about full stack JavaScript, you're going to need to get comfortable with HTML, CSS, responsive web design. You're also going to need to get comfortable with CSS Grid or Flexbox. You're going to need to get comfortable with testing, JavaScript, a JavaScript framework of choice, TypeScript, and then if you're doing full stack JavaScript, probably MongoDB and Express and Node. What's the least expected salary I should put when applying for jobs in LA, for example? It depends on what it is you're looking to get hired. Here's the thing, guys. For your very first job, just worry about getting the job. Don't worry about money. The money will come. You can leave in say you take a job for 40K in LA as a dev, great. Leave for 80 in 6 months. Go get that experience and keep growing, Would I ever do .NET work? I would, but people don't hire me for .NET, right? I'm not a C#.NET developer. I could be. You give me 3 months, I'll be the best C#.NET developer on your team. But people don't hire me for that. When people are paying you, here's the thing you have to understand a lot of times, guys. When people are paying you, and you have to understand that most devs don't put any work in, so you fall in that category by get go, right? People are paying you $60 an hour plus bonuses, plus benefits, all that. They don't want to pay you to do something you're not good at. The reason they get paid good money is because you are good. So would I do it? Yeah, man. I think it's a great path to go down. There's a lot of C# and .NET roles, and there's good money. How much does a gap impact job prospects? You just have to have an answer for it, man. That's all. So when people ask you why you have a gap in your resume, just explain. Say, you know what, my mother was having hard times, and I had to stay home, take care of my brothers and sisters, or whatever the case may be. So unnamed, I would say if you don't know and you're just like, look, I just need an amount, put like 60,000, 55,000, something like that in the Los Angeles area. I think that's a fair junior level salary. Where's Dolan? I have a good sketch for Dolan planned out. I'm waiting on Ricky. Go bug Ricky Garcia. He's my partner in crime with the Dolan series. But I have one. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. What would you consider to be a solid intermediate to advanced front end project to do for learning purposes? You want an advanced project? I would say something like integrating a progressive web app with service workers, client side caching, web manifests files. You do maybe some push notifications, all that sort of stuff that's sort of bleeding edge, and make it work on iOS as well. Have I seen Good Omens? I have not. I don't even know what that is. Nowadays, when it comes to my hobby, it's pretty much coding, a little bit of anime, and I watch League of Legends esports. I don't play I haven't played League of Legends for years. Dolan's a 8:01 a.m. dev. That's how Dolan is. So I got my setup right there. You see that? This microphone and a light. put them feet down. I got nice feet. What are you talking? Can't smell the feet. These are clean, baby. Clean feet. I'll be finishing up my bachelor's degree in information technology, data management soon. Do you think a young 20-year-old a master's degree is a smart investment? I would say. It's funny. I was actually meant to film a video today, but I so Hired did a study about tech degrees or tech salaries, and one of the questions on there was about individuals' master's degree, if they thought it helped them out or not with their salary. Only 1 in 4 said yes. 1 in 4. Not 1 in 4 said no. 1 in 4 said yes, it helped. 3 out of 4 said no, it did not. Yeah, Julie. So when you're all this stuff is a struggle, man. Like I've been talking about this S-Velt stuff. I don't even know how to say it. Velvet. The S-Velvet. I have not heard of this new Cisco Dev Cert. No, I don't really stay up to date on that. This is just a view. I don't know. This just looks like view to me. Facebook Libra, any thoughts? I'm all about that cryptocurrency, man. No, I get that it's a compiler, and I get that it lets you. So I get the template binding. Like I'm looking at it right now. So like template binding is one of the major reasons you have it. Is there a router built into this? Let me see here. Now you're making me go down the rabbit hole here. There's no router? All right. Until there's a router, there's nothing to really talk about, unfortunately. We need a router. There's no single page application without a router. There's a GitHub router. I don't know. It looks fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but here's my thing. BitConnect. Here's my thing, man. I like all my stuff to be maintained by one party, and part of it, I don't know how easy this is to test, but it's all the same. There's so these frameworks. I don't know. And that's all this is, whether anybody wants to admit it or not. It's just a framework. Is it considered bad practice to use Bootstrap? It is if you don't understand how CSS works and responsive design. I know every week you guys try and get me going about Bootstrap, man. Here's the thing, is you guys laugh and you think it's not funny, but I've seen the harm that Bootstrap and like these Light and jQuery and these things have done to people, and they never recover. They never recover. Full stack JavaScript is a good stack to learn for beginner developers. Third week, almost finished on the job. Honestly, being the dev is the best job I've ever had. You're the main inspiration, Dylan. Thank you, man. Where's Dolan? Soon. Talk to Ricky. Go harass Ricky and tell him. Full stack JavaScript. What are you doing? You're not coding. I work on stuff that's coding related. The only real hobby I have is I watch One Punch Man. Oh, I tell you what, I'm doing something dope this weekend. You know who's going to be in the front row seats with my boy, the GOAT, Artem Lobov, versus Pauly Malignaggi, bare knuckles. April and I bought front row seats, baby. We're gonna be there. I'm gonna try to get a picture of the GOAT. So it's gonna be good times, man. So I do watch some MMA and I do watch some LOL esports. So front row, dropped a little coinage. I said I need to see this with my own eyes. Bam. Row A. All right. Front row. The only people in front of us are the VIPs. You can't even buy those tickets. It's gonna be good, man. We're gonna see the GOAT in person. I don't know if my eyes can take it. Book of Mormon, the play. I saw that. Did I see that? No. I saw years ago. My father took me to see Jesus Christ Superstar. That's what I was thinking of. But yeah, I that's pretty much what I do for hobbies for the most part, man. I'm up here every day after work working on stuff. What would be a good alternative to Bootstrap? CSS and HTML. What kind of harm your job uses Bootstrap? Yeah. So here's the thing. One, probably most people at your work don't understand basic responsive web design, which is a shame because Flexbox and CSS Grid make it incredibly easy. Two, they've probably never built one of these components that they need, and the idea of building it custom scares them shitless. All right. Three, because they are so dependent on Bootstrap and have been using it for years, they haven't had to get comfortable with CSS. It's a vicious cycle that continually happens. And if you had to here's the thing, if you had to ask them what each one of those Bootstrap classes were doing that they know by heart, they couldn't tell you. Utility first CSS or traditional classes and modifiers. So if we're talking about structuring our CSS, I like to follow atomic design. Maybe I can convince your boss to get off of it. How did I meet my girlfriend? About a decade ago. It's crazy as it sounds. Maybe 9 years ago. I met April at a party at which her ex-boyfriend had showed up and was yelling at her. And I introduced myself. I said, "Hey, hi, I'm Dylan." And about 5 seconds later, he started screaming and she left. And then I snuck into the DMs on Facebook like a gentleman. Hey, look at this. Our boy, our Storms, donates $20. I appreciate that, man. A man I word. I said when I get a job, I would donate. Thanks for being such a huge inspiration, changing my life. Consistent hard work pays off. Good for you, man. And you know what? Because you donated that $20, I'm gonna help you go make another 20 grand right now. So I'm gonna give you the. You say, all right, cool. I got my first dev job. Great. This is what you need to do, man. Let's make sure that you go and make another 20 grand really easily by the end of 1 year, guaranteed. So first 3 months, your only job here is to learn the stack that you're working with every single day. First 3 months. All right, that's a given. You need to keep this job, right? Now, what's next? From there, what you got to do is you have to read clean code and actually practice it. Clean code and then the clean coder. One's going to teach you how to write code professionally. One's going to go ahead and teach you how to be a professional. Two things that are absolutely crucial you need to know. You then need to go and, if you haven't already, picked up a object-oriented approach to things, or functional, but you have to understand these two concepts in detail depending on what sort of framework and ideology you're using at work. I'm not much of a functional guy. I like object-oriented, but you have to understand these things. And a great thing to help you with object-oriented is solid principles. Once you have done that, if you haven't already started a unique side project, that's it. If you go and do those, what did I say, 4 or 5 things in the next year, and you practice them, and you actually level up your code, you'll get guaranteed a $20,000 raise. And thank you for the $20, man. I appreciate it. I know you're just getting started, and $20, even if you're in your very first dev job, when you're going from broke, is a lot of money, and I appreciate it. That helped. For those of you who know, all that money, every time you guys watch the channel, that video, the money, the donations, whatever it is, goes towards paying off this house, lowering my stress, lowering my cholesterol, lowering my anxiety. I appreciate that. Do I use Linux or Windows? I use Windows. Do I think testing is an important part of the front-end dev job? I do indeed. Although I might be the only one. How do you stay focused? I got rid of distractions. I also understand what success is. So, like, one thing that makes it hard for people is to invest time and energy in something is because they don't understand necessarily what that will give them. Once you've already experienced success in a endeavor that took a little bit of time, energy, and faith, it's very easy to say, you know what, I'm just going to cut out gaming for a little while. I'm just going to do this, and that. Because let me put it this way. If I guaranteed you, say you're making, I don't know how much money you're making. Let's just say it's not always about money, but money's an easy thing to quantify. So I say, hey, if you spend 4 hours a day for the next 6 months and you're making 30K now, I guarantee I'll double your salary to 60K. A lot of people would be like, damn, you guarantee that? Yep. Just got to clock in, do your work. There's no real guarantee for people, but like, that's a deal that someone would come to your house for 4 hours every single day and do this and this and that. And they're like, sure, I just doubled my income. Absolutely. But that takes a little bit of faith. And people want things like, oh, yeah, guaranteed. Life has no guarantees. What it has is percentage of chance. Now, how much of a chance do you have to go and become a developer if you generate enough time and energy? Like, you don't put any time and energy in it? Zero. How much likelihood does your chances going up if you do dedicate time, energy, effort consistently every single day for hours upon hours? Significantly higher. Now, once you've accomplished your task at hand one time, like one real moment defining time, it's very easy to give up other things because you understand you're chasing that again. You understand what it is. You're already doing clean code and clean coder. Good on you, baby. All right, one other additional thing. Testing. Get comfortable with unit testing. Learn mocks. Learn how to properly extend your mocks using the dependency inversion principle for your services and things like that. It'll make testing so much easier. That's another thing that can really help your salary go through the roof. Our Stearns, and listen to this. Did everything you have said. I'm religious viewer of your videos, and here he is with his very first dev job. That's a crazy coincidence, isn't it? Did I find work? Yeah, I got hired by one of the big four companies. Thank you. Think of me in promotion too. Talk about it more when it happens. But I guess things are going okay. I don't know. Uh, we'll see. Um, I'm struggling with what to put on my resume, even though I'm halfway through my JavaScript full stack. So that's always a hard thing. I do offer consulting stuff. Big four auditing companies, I should say. Big four auditing companies. My to be more detailed, tax financial companies, firms. Um, anyhow, not like Fang. Usually, my mistake. So. Yeah. Oh man. Any resources you should be living in the area? Living in what area? My area? Your area? What area are we talking about here? Um, but yeah, Alfred. So I mean, put everything you can on your resume that's related, has anything to do with software. So there's a very specific way you should create your resume. But if you're ever interested, I do offer mentoring for it. But the general gist of, so you're gonna start with you're gonna go skills, you're gonna go projects, you're gonna go certs, and the very last thing is gonna be your unrelated experience, and right above that, maybe a degree if you have it. I do everything that can be connected to the front end, from pages to 3D and browser in a small company. Do you think this is bad to be a man for everything, or will it help me in the future? I mean, if you're doing front end development, very aspects of it, I think that's always good. Yeah. So obviously, you want to get comfortable with a client side framework, React, Angular, Vue, whatever you want. After that, what you want to do is you want to build maybe a progressive web app, selling your service workers, a CRUD application. Games are always good because that requires a lot of manipulation of the DOM and logic. You accepted your second dev job and start in a month. But it's across country, so any tips on the move? First off, congratulations, Kelvin. I have no doubt that if you're moving across country, you done got paid cash money. All right, so good on you. Um, Your company is hiring in New York City. Can you give a brother a shout out? King Ferno, shoot me a message on LinkedIn or on. So if any guys are in the area and you're full stack senior JavaScript devs, reach out to me and I will interview you literally for my team. But yeah, if you're interested in King Ferno, shoot me an email at Dylan's email 310 and I'll see if I can recommend you. If you got the skills to pay the bills, we'll get you in there, man. Um, yes, moving across country. This is something I've done a couple times. Well, technically I did it twice, but we'll say I did it once. First thing you need to do is get rid of all the crap that you really don't need. Sell it, give it away, whatever you can. It's time to downsize. downsize, downsize, downsize. You need to, it'll help you save a little bit of money to cover that move. Another thing is, depending on your company, they will either give you a check or pay for you to move. Move yourself, keep the money. My personal opinion. Second thing, find a month-to-month situation. If you're alone, go ahead and move and find a room on Craigslist that you can rent month to month. Do that and get situated, and then go get an apartment. It'll be easier for you. If you can't find a month to month thing, what I did when I came down here is I booked an Airbnb for 10 days. Do that, save yourself the headache. Book an Airbnb for 30 days, 2 weeks, whatever it is. And then, second you get down, get situated, go find a place. If you can help it and you have like a girlfriend or a wife that's got to come with you, or a boyfriend, it's 2019, I don't care. Whatever works for you. Have them wait behind. Go and see if you enjoy the job first. Go from there. So, also, when you make that trip across country, the thing that I've done and I've regretted time and time again is I try to just power through the driving. I do like 16, 20-hour days of driving. It's hell. If you can, do 8 hours a day. Get a little Airbnb along the way, and relax. Jetua says, as I'm trying to learn full stack development, there's so many frameworks out there. How do you discern between what to learn, and how do you get motivation to keep up to date on all of them? Well, what to learn is easy. You learn what people are paying for in the area that you're looking to work. Motivation to constantly keep up to date on them is, I enjoy this stuff. It's easy to want to stay up to date when you enjoy it. And it's also easy when you have a financial incentive. Like, every time I learn something, there's a way for me to monetize it. At the very least, I can put a video out. I can do a SkillShare course. I can do a Udemy course. I can go and talk at a meetup. And so find a way to monetize it if you can. But more so, just find the passion. That's it. The reason that I'm able to go and do these things every single day is because I like it. Learn to like it. Learn to love it. I have a mean stack technical question. I have a form in Angular that allows a user to register. When the user returns, how do they remain logged in? Well, it depends on, this isn't necessarily a mean stack question so much as an authentication question. It depends on how you have it set up. Sometimes you bring up an additional form and then it just sends the data back. So usually what happens is when you redirect them back, so you go away, you're doing like third-party authentication, you redirect them back. When you get redirected back, you have a token associated with it, and that might be stored in local storage or cookie storage or session storage. It's stored somewhere, and then you go and access that. So that's how it works. That's typically how it works. Would you say your coworkers spend as much time outside of work devoted to software as you do? I don't think most people do. That's okay. But I do it in different ways. Everyone's got their own thing, man. Here's the thing, I don't expect people to dedicate their lives to it. Most people my age have kids and families. I'm trying to do all go, 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 because I understand I'm slowing down, man. Even now. I ain't got it in me like I used to. I'm not a young stud. I'm just a stud now. All right. uh, my point being is you got to put in the time while you can, because um, it only gets harder, guys. It only gets harder as your life grows, as you grow, as your career grows. Um, one of the things I say why I liked using or getting a job so much is because, or getting a dog so much is because it was the first time in about 3 or 4 years I just was able to take a breath, where I was just like, oh, no more go, 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 go. And that was something that I have been missing. I love. Am I using crypto? No. Uh, Thoughts on companies like Reventure? They're just consulting companies. Good thing about consulting companies is they pay better than the average company. Thoughts on Bcrypt? I don't know what that is. I don't know. I haven't actually gone out of my way to set up authentication for applications. Usually, that's one of the very first things you set up in a project, and typically it's already set up. So I haven't dove in too much to the authentication. But for the most part, they all just store sort of JSON web tokens. Oh, he's asking you. All right. Well, it's all about you then, isn't it, Joe? Colin, Callan, Culin. Have you ever thought of publishing apps as a form of main/side business? Yes, I have a couple ideas. I got one that I'm hoping to launch by the end of this year. NPM package uses Express, yes. Yeah. Could I get hired as full stack certificate? You can always get hired. Put in the work. You got the skills to pay the bill. I was watching. I think it was the Ultimate Fighter, and it was one guy. He said, "I got the skills to pay the bills." So I was like, "Dude, I don't know if you think you look intimidated saying that." I could only imagine I could only imagine having a developer there, like, "Hey, you got some questions about JavaScript. How proficient would you say you are in JavaScript?" Said, "Listen here, I got skills to pay the bills. All right." Like, next, please move on. It's really a 1 in 10 sort of question. Do I think a mentor will help you, or is a must-have? Nothing's a must-have, but if you have a mentor, it's good. It's great as long as you have a good mentor. I can write a for loop. Hire me. How's the front end Udacity nanodegree program going? I haven't spent too much time doing it. I did review it. That was really the goal. There was to review what they were offering, and if it wasn't apparent, I was stunned that they were offering testing, and I was stunned that they were offering service workers. That program is a good program to get you introduced to a lot of great concepts in front end development. I was really impressed with it. What is your knowledge of security and web development like? Not very good. For the most part, there's so many packages that handle authentication that that's usually what I would use. R Storms, you already got a job, man. We going crazy about. The last package I actually set up that I used was Passport. That was really easy. I like that. I mean, just look up what people are using for authentication and go from there. Mr. J. Livermore says, "How often would you say bouncing to a different company is a smart move? Seems like big raises come at job changes, not promotions." That is very correct. So what I would say is that a couple things. If you have a good opportunity, it doesn't matter how soon, take the good opportunity. Once you are above market rate, it is time for you to consider about moving up. Is the fan better than AC? It just helps all together. How early should I start applying for full-time jobs if I graduate in December? Right now. Yeah, right now. What do I do if I just don't love HTML, CSS, and really enjoy the logic of JavaScript? You can do a node developer. Love Nintendo shirt. Thanks, man. Look, I know you love this toss as I drop it, because I got the skills to pay the bills, baby. Oh man. Free code camp has value in what you get out of it as a path to learn and have something put on your resume. I'm very proud of my free code camp certs that I've spent time to, because I spent the time to do every single one of those things. It's one of the reasons that I became a JavaScript developer. Apply for places that then say I can begin working in 5 months. They might look. Here's the thing: they might be interested. You have no idea how long it sometimes takes to get hired at certain companies. Sometimes companies put out roles that they're looking to hire in 2-3 months, and they drag on and on and on. Right now, what you have the opportunity to do is build a network. What you have the opportunity to do is maybe a great job comes along right now and says, "Hey, we'd love to hire you," and then you say, "Fantastic. When do I start?" And maybe you go part time. So, and it might take you 5 months to get a job. Just because you got a degree doesn't mean you're gonna get a job tomorrow. Got the degrees to make the cheese. No, I don't. I don't have any degrees. Um, yeah, I mean, you don't really need back end for Node or front end for Node. If your goal is to be a back end dev in JavaScript, there are roles out there. There's a lot of Node roles. All about that boss degree. You know what I should do is bachelor of science shit boss degree. What I should do is send you guys degrees when you get jobs. Like, I should send you a Dylan Israel, a bachelor's of Dylan Israel degree, and all you gotta do is send in a picture of your pay stub or a picture you at your workplace, and then just like with your name on it, and then I'll send you hand signed your official degree, your dev degree. It'll be self-taught-dev-degree.com or something like that. And when you get your first dev job, just write in a little thing, prove that you're a dev, and I'll send it to you, and you can put it up on your wall. Be proud. So Bravo 6, what I explain to people, so like when I explain Free Code Camp, what I tell people is it's a open source JavaScript coding boot camp. That's how I explain Free Code Camp. What's your opinion on having some necessary basic dev job experience before freelancing? I mean, I think you pretty much answered it on your own. Necessary, basic. These are all things that you should have and are necessary and basic, right? Is there a way to set up a portable mobile web dev environment? Yeah, put it on a USB drive. Did you say somewhere before Ruby on Rails is dying now? Yes. If you go and look at the top languages, it's not Ruby. I wouldn't say dying. What I would say is that there's already enough Rails developers and companies aren't starting new Ruby on Rails programs. If I were going to interview you for a node role, how well would I need to know the front end? Tyler, this is what I'm trying to tell you, man. You don't need to know the front end other than JavaScript to be a node developer. It's unrelated. It can help, but I wouldn't. If we're hiring you for a back end role, not a full stack role, not a front end role, we're hiring for a back end role. I say, hey, what do you know about HTML, CSS? You're not going to be doing it. I don't care. You can pick it up. If I'm hiring you for certain technologies, I say, all right, great. This is a JavaScript role, but we want to keep you on your toes, so we're going to ask you about C sharp. No, that's basically what you're saying. Do I think front end development will become obsolete and replaced by AI or any web builder software? No, not in our lifetimes. Here's my stance on Ruby is that there are Ruby jobs, but there are developers for this. It's the same stance I have on PHP. Go into a technology that's growing. That's it. I have no idea what technologies the Department of Defense is working on. Um, but like, go work in technologies that are growing. Oh my God, new technologies like so. You guys, look forward to tomorrow's video. I wasn't gonna do a video. I was gonna only do one video this week. RPA. What's RPA? Yeah, good luck, man. To generate PDF server side. No, I've only generated a client side. So like when I've generated PDFs, typically there's a lot of JavaScript libraries that can help you with this, and they can get very complex depending on what it is you're trying to do. But I've always done it client side. Part of the reason is that you can just open it in a new tab and it'll download and it's there for you. I haven't done server side. All right, guys, it's been real. I don't remember what library I used. I've done it twice, but I don't remember. It's been real. It's been real fun. I did a little weekend AMA a little bit early. Look forward to tomorrow's video where we go over what the average developer makes based off of the hired survey, which is I already read through it. It's very fascinating. Talks about what the top languages are, the cities, what's important to developers, if a master's degree helps you, all this sort of stuff. It's gonna be really dope. Look forward to it. I can't wait to release it. I'm gonna go film that right now. We're gonna release it tomorrow for you. I love these types of surveys that come out once a year. We get these giant companies that release all this sort of stuff, and then you get to see what's actually going on because it really paints a picture. So, with that being said, guys, see you guys next time. Bye.